Hello, algorithms and viewers. It's Friday, and I am filming here live from Hollywood, Los Angeles. I would like to take a moment at the top of the show to send out our prayers and condolences for those lives and homes and just devastation that has occurred here in the Los Angeles area. I want to say, you have to see it to believe it. It's been the most it's insane thing you can ever witness is watching a fire just burn through people's lives and memories. So we would like to say here from Celebrity Court, we're sending all our prayers as well as our condolences to all the memories, all the lives that were lost. We also want to send our prayers out to the firefighters who have been working nonstop around the clock, at least 72 hours. We want to send them prayers and just any type of support that they need. So I just wanted to do that at the top of the show. All right, let's get back to it. Welcome to Celebrity Court, everybody. Friday night, the show where fame meets the scale of justice. And guess what? No headline escapes our gavel. I'm your host and judge, Al Reynolds, and tonight we're diving into some of the most jaw-dropping, career-shattering, and conversation-sparking cases in recent history. First, Donald Trump has made history yet again, but not the kind that he wants. He's the first U.S. president convicted of a felony. Yes, you heard me correctly. He's the first U.S. president convicted of a felony. While avoiding jail time, the fallout from this sentencing, though, could change the political landscape forever. But time will only tell. But that's just the beginning. Diddy is facing new, shocking allegations about his youth, claims that might rewrite how we view the music mogul's rise to fame. Alec Baldwin isn't staying silent either. He's suing prosecutors over the Russ case fallout, reigniting one of Hollywood's most tragic incidents. We'll also take you to California here in Hollywood, where a wildfire investigation has led to a man's detention amidst question of arson. Woohoo! Yes, you heard me correct. So were some of the fires actually set by someone? And finally, the Supreme Court is gearing up to reshape the digital world as we know it, signaling support for a TikTok ban that has millions of users, especially like my sister, Gordette Crummy, up in arms. So buckle up, because tonight we're not just spilling tea, we're stirring up the kind of debate that lingers long after this gavel drops. Let's dive into the truth. Let's dive into the scandals and the justice behind these headlines. And I've got a lineup for you tonight with our legal beagles. First up, the fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Welcome back. Friday's edition of Celebrity Court.
Hey, Your Honor. I'm glad to be back. Happy Friday, TGIF.
Yeah, is that a cocktail?
Looks like one, but it's actually just water on the rocks.
All right. There's nothing wrong with a little H2O. Also joining her, humorist at law, Sean Carter. He should be a comedian. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
How you doing, Your Honor? I'm just sitting here mad about to lose my TikTok in 9 days. I'm not even gonna know how to do the dances anymore. See,
I know, right? Exactly. Actually, and also author, shit they didn't teach him in law school. Welcome back, Counselor Weiss. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sitting here turning red from all the jokes that Attorney Carter's telling. So
oh, I know, right? And can't wait to see your AI generated pictures that we're going to show tonight. Anyway, all right, everybody, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, please hit the share button. Invite some friends to come over here and learn about the law while we spill all of the tea. Also, thank you as always. Turn on your notifications, and thank you always. Please jump down into the chat. We definitely would like for you to serve as the jury and get in here in this conversation and share with us your thoughts and any questions that you may have that need to be legally asked. What else did I need to do? So remember, the shield for Attorney Weiss, the clown for Attorney Carter, the fire for Attorney Turner, and for me, the fax machine emoji. All right, first up on the docket tonight, like I mentioned before, Donald Trump has become the first U.S. president to be convicted of a felony, receiving a conditional discharge in the hush money case. Yes, the judge emphasized accountability, but stopped short of jail time. Damn, does that mean we're not going to see an ankle bracelet on our president? This historic sentencing coincides with Trump's 2024 campaign, raising questions about how voters will respond. Will this conviction hurt his chances or rally his base even further? I'm going to throw this to you, Attorney Weiss. What are your thoughts on this? And the question here for me is, does Trump's conditional discharge, right? It's a felony.
Unconditional discharge. I never thought I'd be talking about a U.S. president and saying unconditional discharge in the same sentence. I mean, it's crazy. Look,
except for Clinton. Let's be clear. Except for Clinton.
That's true. You know, Monica. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
That was unconditional. I'll go ahead.
To quote Judge Merchan, this is a case like no other. Okay, obviously it's like no other. No other president's ever been convicted of a felony. But here's the wonderful part for our soon-to-be President Trump. He is getting no jail time. He is getting no fines. He gets no probation. He walks away, and we're going to roll out the red carpet for him in 10 days while he goes and takes and moves his possessions into the White House once again.
Something about this just doesn't feel right. I mean, this feels icky. The show what message are we sending to Americans?
Here's the message, right? Do whatever you want, run for president, get elected, and it all goes away. So that's it. So if you want to be, Charles Manson, or you want to be one of these, killers or something else, or, look, run for president, win, and, you're good to go. But this is truly, this decision was 100% influenced by presidential protections as he's set to begin his term as a U.S. president. There was no way that he could serve as the president of the United States behind bars. He cannot wear an orange jumpsuit every single day. But I'm not sure what this message sends to the rest of the world, right? Does the rest of the world now think that Donald Trump can do whatever he wants and gets away with it? That's good from certain perspective, like don't mess with the U.S., but that's scary for other perspectives, because it's going to be mess with the U.S. and you don't know what's coming. So this is really, really scary. And look, the U.S. Constitution does not prevent him from being president based on a felony conviction. It might knock him down. It might hurt his reputation. It might do, but who cares, right? He doesn't care anymore. He's done it, seen it, bought the T-shirt, and he's ready to do it again. So
that's interesting to me, though, because I'm gonna go to you, Shaitan, because you've been vocal in this space as it relates to him being a felon. Could this case set a precedent for prosecuting other high-profile politicians in the future, or we're gonna what? We're gonna throw the book at the ones now, but we're not throwing the book at the president? Like, what do you see?
So what I think would be most interesting was for his lawyers to actually conduct a law school class and to tell people how they pulled this off. Because this, quite frankly, this is a sign of some brilliant lawyering, because they did something that a lot of lawyers don't do, right? They believed completely in their client. He had one way out, which was to win the presidency. And remember, everybody thought it was a long shot because, he had incited an insurrection, and there were all of this conversation about how he wasn't qualified, and apparently he increased the debt and he wasn't that great at the job. But he believed that he would win. His lawyers banked on that. So they extended this as far as they could with continuances and all that kind of stuff so that it wouldn't get heard. I think it was Attorney Weiss who said it the other day. If this were 2 years ago, this would be a very different outcome. And it could have been. But his lawyers successfully delayed it until the time that they had to decide how it was going to be disposed of was after he won. And when he's the president-elect, he's going to be getting sworn in like 10 days. And so there was no way that he was going to have a new piece of jewelry or be forced to wear clothing that matches his skin, right? It just was not happening.
Right.
Yeah, Apple was going to release something. They were going to call it, the Trumple watch or something, where it was going to go around his ankle, and every time.
That's crazy. All right, Tanya Kelly said there's people in prison with 1 or 2 felons. Trump never has to pay the price for his crimes. It's not fair. Kenny Black said, I just feel like he only got a slap on the wrist. I do too, Kenny. It had to be the wallet and complexion. It had to be the wallet and complexion for protection. Colette Davis says, it seems like Donald Trump is above the law. I just don't understand why. I don't understand it either. I don't understand even how the cases were built. What were you saying, Attorney Carter? Like the way they were scheduled, the way they were handled. What does this man know that we don't know?
Yeah, and part of the fault goes with the prosecutors. There's no reason why they need to wait this 2 years after he got out of office to bring the case. And then, of course, it was brilliance in delaying it. But understand that I see some people saying that this wouldn't have worked for Obama. It would have worked for Obama. Obama's not the kind of guy. But the bottom line is the president of the United States cannot be in jail or showing up to his parole officer every Tuesday. Right, that's
I definitely don't think that this. I don't think this could have worked for Obama. Obama could barely, he wore a khaki suit, and the United States was in uproar, like as if the Constitution was revoked or something. Like
the people wouldn't have.
He definitely would not have been able to navigate this as a black male in America being the president.
I go further than that. I go further than Obama. Let me tell you something, Diddy. If you're out there watching and you ain't got nothing else to do, all right, Diddy. 2028. All right. You want to make sure you get out of all this stuff. You run for president and win in 2028. And they just simply cannot lock you up as the U.S. president. They can't. It can't. It just is not going to work. Diddy 2028. I'll be your campaign manager.
Oh my gosh. All right. Venetia Phillips says this is the most horrible president's shit I've ever heard of. He's a disgrace, disgusting orange fat cheeseburger eating wig wearing MFIM. All right, let it all out. Venetia, let it all out. Let it all out.
Sean, should we start oiling up the voters? Greasing them up, oiling them up.
Hey.
Dominic Brooks says if he was a black man, they would have him in jail. Takara Tucker said no, they believed in the check they got. I believe SL said because we are a ratchet society. Tanya Crowder says if it was Obama, he would have been sentenced with or without winning the presidency again. I agree. SL said he's not going to the White House. He'll be in Florida.
I just want to know what Obama and Trump were talking about at the President.
I know. I definitely wanted to know too. In fact, I kind of got mad at Obama talking to him. I didn't even like the idea of them sitting beside each other and talking. You see, Michelle was not there. She was like, "I'm not going to this mess."
And you see, Kamala turned away and wanted nothing to do with him. She moved her husband on the other side. Like, I don't want to sit with this man.
Well, and Pence's wife refused to talk to him too. She didn't.
That was hilarious.
But here's what Trump said he talked to Obama about, because I saw him talking about it on TV. He said to him, you know what? If we had a chance to talk like this, we'd probably like each other. So it was Trump trying to get the optics. And I guess that's why Obama was laughing, because Obama was probably like, ain't this some...
Right. I think, he's such a master at manipulating press, right? Like he made that entire funeral about his conversation with Obama, which I thought was just interesting. All right, algorithm, we could talk about this all night. There's a question for you. Is this conviction proof that no one is above the law, or does it reveal a double standard for the elite? That's an awesome question, I think. So is the conviction really a conviction, or was it simply a process that they,
This conviction means absolutely nothing, right? The man is 78 years old. The presidency is going to be the last job he ever has to do. He doesn't have to worry about anything else. This is it, right? It's not like it's a 25 or a 30-year-old that gets convicted and their entire life is screwed, or an 18-year-old. This is a 78-year-old man who's done everything, owns everything, has everything. So it doesn't mean squat. All right, I got a conviction. I got to watch. I got sneakers. I got cologne.
It really doesn't matter to him. It hasn't stopped him in any way. All right, algorithms, what do you guys think? Was this a fair conviction, or is Trump just getting off with everything as he normally does? All right, put it down in the chat segment, huh? What'd you say?
New trial of the century. Forget about OJ, right? People ask that same question about OJ. Was that just about the elite? That's what this is. This is a money and power and good lawyering thing. And so the lesson to all of us, right? If you're facing some sort of litigation and you don't like the outcome, don't resolve it. Keep pushing it off until some other fact comes up to mitigate it.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's the lesson here.
Yeah, I guess, deep pockets or deep credit works, I guess. I'm still confused. But speaking of litigation, next up, Sean Diddy Combs finds himself in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Again, a childhood friend has come forward and alleged that sex parties were regularly hosted at his mother's home during his youth. While these claims remain unverified, they add fuel to the fire for a music mogul already facing mountains of legal challenges. I'm going to throw to you, Shaitan, and what I want to know here is, are these allegations, and I've said this before, are these allegations, how much weight should unverified allegations like this from decades ago, which was relating to his mom, how will this have, why is this important is what I'm asking. And can this affect his case? Will this impact his legal battles?
Well, remember, right now we're trying this case in the court of public opinion, this show and generally. And so the media is interested in any tidbit that even hints or smells like it's related to Diddy. And so this childhood friend who might not have seen Diddy since they were like licking sand off their hands at the playground now wants to come forward for their 15 minutes of fame so they can tell the story. It's getting traction because of the subject matter, right? And so whether it gets played out in the actual litigation remains to be seen. So we just have to remember, but I think it's fun for us to talk about it here. The thing that this article made me think about is, I don't know if you guys have seen this on Instagram, because based on the algorithm, this might not have tracked to you, but there's a song and it goes, "Mama used to be a hoe, now she goes to Costco." Like that's
what?
That's what this makes me think of.
What?
Here's Diddy's mama, right? She used to be a hoe. That's what the kid's saying. She hosted these parties, and you could walk around the house and you could smell reefer. That's what he called it. You could see naked people, all kinds of sex, all kinds of ways, upside, downside, back door, front door, everything. He does not mention, as Attorney Carter indicated in Chambers, that there was any drug use. So it doesn't sound like it was as freaky as the freak-offs we've heard about. But what he's trying to paint a picture of is that this was the norm for Diddy, that parties informed who he became as a man, right?
Got it.
So if I were representing Diddy,
she was going to Costco to buy buckets of baby oil. Come on. we got a picture of that, don't we?
SL, wait, yeah, hold on. Before we show that picture real quick. Oh, there it is.
Now, let me tell you.
You guys are wrong for that.
That picture was generated by going into ChatGPT and saying, "Give me something funny with a brothel and some baby oil," and boom, there we go. So
why are the curtains pink?
Hey, why would they not be?
Because it's a brothel.
Okay, you're right. All right, SL says, wasn't the mom strolling the blade? What does that mean, guys?
I don't know. Y'all are the ones who know the good sex stuff.
If she was a working lady, that's what the rumors have it. Nola F. Ryan says, I've been saying his mother was the original city girl. His father was a beast in the worst way and set the seed in Diddy to continue the saga. Tanya Crowder says, this childhood friend would make a great character witness for the prosecution against Diddy. That's interesting. Daphne said his mom taught him everything he knows. They say kissing each other in the mouth. They stay kissing each other in the mouth, and she wears white polish just the way he likes it. Ooh, Daphne. Oh, Dabney. Kenny
So
Blackburn says,
strolling the blade is a slang term often associated with street culture, particularly referring to a sex worker walking along the street or a track to solicit clients.
okay. All right. JP Mills said, wasn't Diddy's mom a prostitute? All right, let's keep the show going.
Next, can I call cap on all this? All right, I don't believe Tim Dog at all. Let me tell you why. Because
you don't believe the best friend?
No, I tell you why I don't believe it. Because when I was a kid, my parents had a party, and guess what? Kids were not to be seen or heard. All right, maybe at midnight they let you come out and do your little pop locking. All right, but that was it. All right, ain't no way in the world you got to see the stuff, and I know that now because guess what? I'm old now. All right, and I'm here in Arizona where it's a home of old people. And let me tell you something. You think a Diddy freak off or something? Go to an old folk party. All right, ain't no party like an old folk party because somebody's heart gonna stop. All right, it ain't nothing but craziness. Let me tell you how crazy it is. But here's the thing: is even though it's craziness, because remember, nobody gonna get pregnant and nobody got to go to work. All right, so it's hard. But here's the thing: is I only get to get in now because I got
order in the court.
We got a place called the Villages.
Order in the court. You know what? He said.
The Villages in Central Florida. That's all I got to say. You want to Google something?
He said no one has to worry about getting pregnant and nobody has to go to work. I'm dead.
Let me tell you something. This is my AAP card. I couldn't get into the parties.
All right, hold on. Let us get back on track here. My producers, hold on, Attorney Carter.
All right.
My producers hitting me up and saying,
"Can't hear you."
We're going a little bit off track here. All right,
fair enough.
Here's the question for our algorithms and for our viewers tonight, as it relates to the Diddy case. This is an interesting question. Are these allegations a reflection of troubling patterns in Diddy's life, or are they distractions from the real legal issues? What do you guys think about that? Does this really matter? Do we care? Does this shape our opinion as it relates to his behavior and what he's been accused of or not? All right. Drop down in the comments and let us know what you think. All right, next up, Alec Baldwin is pushing back hard after prosecutors dismissed criminal charges against him in the Rust movie set shooting. Baldwin is now suing them, claiming their mishandling of the case damaged his career as well as his reputation. This lawsuit brings Hollywood's most tragic workplace incident back into the spotlight. Is Baldwin justified in seeking justice, or is this an attempt to deflect blame? I'm going to throw to you, Attorney Carter. Talk to me about how likely is it that Baldwin can win this case claiming reputational harm against prosecutors?
He's got a tough challenge here. He's got a real tough challenge, basically saying that I was charged for this, murder and for manslaughter, and that there was a malicious prosecution, that there was no evidence against me, and that the prosecutors just tried to ruin my life. Now, partly he has a good claim because guess what? He did get his charges dismissed. The court said that there's no way they should have charged you with this. But to be able to then charge the prosecutor, the prosecutor has immunity, all right, as government immunity, unless you can prove that they specifically went out of their way to get you. They falsified evidence. So it's a really high hurdle to be able to prove it. So even though he was acquitted, he probably should just walk away now and just be happy with it. But he's thinking that if I can get this verdict, because by the way, also the prosecutor don't have any money. All right, so it's not even like there's any money to get out of this. But he's hoping that that his reputation will be restored. The truth of the matter is his reputation will be restored because guess what? Twitter. He acted a fool on Twitter for most of the 2010 and 2020 before even any of this came up. All right, we saw him act a fool, cursing his daughter out and all that stuff. So he not get his reputation back regardless. He'd just be happy and go home.
I thought when I read this, I thought it was a PR play. It was a PR play to kind of resuscitate, his work. He wants to go back to work. He likes that check. JP Mills said Baldwin needs to rest himself and be grateful he's not in jail for murder. I agree with that. Death God said lock Baldwin up. He murked that poor lady. I've said it from the beginning that he needs to be laying low because for them to find him not guilty of all things. He got off on everything except for the civil side, right?
Yep.
What were you going to say, Attorney Carter? I mean, Attorney Turner.
I think that it's a PR ploy, but in this respect, I think that he's attempting to repair his image in the industry. And I think he went a step too far. I think this is a case where he probably didn't follow advice of counsel, because I would tend to agree with you. Lay low, let it go, get older, come back as like an elder statesman and say, oh, that was all a mistake. But what he's trying to say is, look, I really wasn't guilty. Like, forget the fact that he was found not guilty in the court. He wants to say, hey, this was a mistake, and I believe in it so strongly that I'm going to sue the prosecution. And I think that that's not the move that would be recommended.
Look, you get certain immunity as a judge and a prosecutor, and unless you really went outside the lines, and I mean really went outside the lines, you're going to be held immune for anything you do. If Baldwin wanted to put out a statement that just said, look, I was found innocent, or I was found innocent in a court of law, and I stand by it, and thank everybody for believing in me, and blah, 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 and leave it at that, that would have made sense, right? But to then say, I want to go ahead and punish the prosecution, no. That's where he took it too far. And probably, like Attorney Turner said, probably against the advice of counsel. And I'd be curious if, he has the same counsel for this part, or if he has somebody new that's just trying to grab him.
Yeah, that's probably helping him. This is my question, though. What type of precedent will we be setting if this goes through, though, right? Now you're going to be allowed to sue prosecutors now?
The prosecutors and judges get immunity. You have to show gross misconduct, like really, really, really bad, in order to go after them. I mean, look, we could put something in a pleading as an attorney, and we could say something, and we're not going to get in trouble for it. You have immunity within the court system. You have to go so far outside the bounds and the realms of what's allowed and what's not in order to get whacked for it. And that whole case was not. I mean,
it's just not it.
Okay, up the wrong tree.
All right, got it. All right.
He's not going to be able to meet this standard. He's just not.
Got it. All right, algorithms, be sure to hit that like button, because the likes aren't liking. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit the share button. Turn on your notifications and keep the comments coming, because we love it. Next up, such a sad.
Trump should just go drink scotch and smoke cigars together. But that's my story.
Him and Alec. No, I don't think they get along, right? Did he support him?
No, but now they got a common thing. They both walked away, right?
They both walked. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Here in California, authorities have detained a man in connection with the Kenneth fire, a devastating blaze that has destroyed property and forced evacuations, and me being one of them. Investigators are exploring whether arson played a role, as wildfires became an increasingly urgent issue in an era of what would be considered climate change. All right, I'm going to throw this to you, Jason. Tell me, what are we finding out? So are we actually finding out, right? And I think this is what we're seeing, that they're actually saying that someone, not all of it, but someone actually started some of these fires.
So that's what they're thinking. They're looking into arson, that somebody did it intentionally, somebody did it recklessly, maliciously, like they don't know what it is. They had somebody who they brought in and they questioned about it. They actually arrested the individual. And after investigation, they found that this individual was not the cause of the fire, but they're still keeping him, and they arrested him because he was charged with a felony probation violation. So they bring him in for fire, say you didn't do the fire, but you violated your probation. So guess what? You got a safe place to stay during all of these fires. You're staying locked up and incarcerated.
Okay, so counselors, tell me what level of evidence is required to convict someone of arson?
It's high. You got to get eyewitness testimony, surveillance footage, physical evidence. It's a crime. You can't just say, I think you did it, so we're going to charge you. It's got to be, we think you did it. Here's why we know you did it. And now we're going to charge you.
Okay. So basically, like for instance, I saw on Instagram where this woman poured gasoline. She caught her boyfriend cheating, and she poured gasoline in his Jeep and threw a match in it, and it blew her up. It blew her to the ground, but it blew the car up. What would she be charged with?
Arson, attempt at, I don't know, attempted murder. If someone else got hurt, murder, felony murder. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things depending on the outcome, but definitely a crime.
So let me ask you this. So if someone did start these forest fires, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because people died, could they be charged with murder?
Possibly felony murder.
Yeah, and so there's actually, in California, at least California Penal Code 451A, there's actually a special crime called arson causing great bodily harm. All right? They have aggravated arson, arson of inhabited structure or property, arson of forest land. So even if you just burn the forest and no houses and people get hurt, they got you there. Possession of incendiary devices. The total for all of these things is oftentimes, sentenced consecutively. So they don't just simply say what the highest one is. They say, okay, you get 20 years for this, 15 years for this, 30 years for this. And so chances are whoever gets caught in one of these fires is going to get like 758 years. All right.
Wow.
Prison time. It'll be an amount of time they can never serve in 20 lifetimes. If anyone's got caught for any of these fires, you are going to jail forever.
But run for president now, so by the time you go to trial, you can
get out.
You can get off. Yeah.
I just, in my head, I'm starting to see, like, people are so sue happy. I'm just starting. I see it coming already. People are going to sue the fire department for not responding fast enough. People are going to try to sue the city for negligence because they didn't have a water system or whatever it is to put the fires out before they burn their houses down. I just see a whole bunch of backed up cases in the court system around this fire situation. It's so unfortunate.
Probably going to get sued is I can't remember what her position is, and you've probably heard about this, but they had budget cuts and intentionally decreased the resources in the fire department, which is part of the reason why things got out of control the way that they did. And so your thing about the lawsuit, that's going to be an attempt to say that they chose profits over people. And when that woman was being interviewed, she was closed-mouthed and she was shaken and didn't really provide any response. But yeah, that has come out. They reduced the fire resources.
Got it. Okay. I did hear that. I also heard someone speak this morning on the rebuttal of it on CNN. But that's I feel sorry for her because she got cornered. Daphne said, they said on the news, if it's arson, the person would be charged for each death. Tanya Crowder said, how will people pay to rebuild? Is the government footing the bill? That's going to be interesting. Abby NYC, hey, what's going on, Abby? The mayor that was away in Ghana, yes, she was. And 10 says, I read they were going to charge any arsonists. I read they were going to charge any arsonists of this as terrorists. Is that accurate, attorneys?
They might.
Sure.
Well, here's the thing is that that's usually a federal offense, all right, an act of terrorism. It certainly could be considered an act of terrorism, and it's largely going to depend on the color of the person who gets caught. If the Trump's administration is going to charge them as a terrorist. If you brown out there and you did this, oh yeah, you are all the Osama, the Bins and Latins. All right, you need you're in trouble. Because you could say that this is a threat against everyone, right? It's just blowing up a building or anything like that. And so yeah, if you brown, you in trouble. But by the way, none of us have any sympathy for you. That's what you get.
Absolutely not. All right, Counselor M. Quentin Williams says, what's up, Alan Jason? What's going on, Counselor? You should come on the show. Drop us some of your knowledge, Counselor Williams. I'm going to text you to make sure we can recruit you. All right, let's keep it moving. Last up on the docket tonight, the Supreme Court is signaling support for a national TikTok ban, citing concerns over Chinese ownership and data privacy. This potential ruling pits national security against free speech. Millions of users are watching closely, fearing that this could mean for their digital freedoms. All right, we're going to go to you, Attorney Turner. Does banning TikTok infringe on the First Amendment rights, or is national security a valid exception?
Well, the question really becomes whether TikTok and free speech, if that's even the question, right? Because free speech has to do with, historically, when you're talking about the constitutional free speech, it didn't have to do with the medium, right? TikTok is a medium of communication. It's not the speech itself. So if you were the government, you would argue that you're not attempting to infringe upon free speech at all. What you're trying to do is protect national security by shutting down a platform that steals privacy and has algorithms that are dangerous for children. And so that's the thing. People can still communicate in a myriad of ways. They're just saying it won't be through TikTok. I'm not sure what the Reynolds are going to do at Thanksgiving and
no, right?
Their ability to have TikTok dances. I mean, TikTok got people through the pandemic, but I have to say one of the reasons I don't have TikTok on my phone is because they've been talking about this since inception, and the concerns are real. And so we don't really know what foreign countries, in terms of this, it's China, how they're using these types of platforms to influence the minds, the hearts, and decision-making of Americans.
And our data.
Yeah, and our data. So people, I like a good time as much as anybody, but what's going on here? Now, facetiously, you might think that the Americans are just angry that it's the foreigners who have all of our attention. And so they want an American version of TikTok to come in, convert Facebook, who already has Instagram, into something else that's fun and people dance, and they just don't want, China to be the one getting the love. So
I love that. So one of the comments was TikTok can go away because I can't learn the dances anyway. Daniel Cameron, I'm okay with TikTok ban because I can't ever get down those dances anyway. All right, Tanya Crowder said, I just learned how to do TikTok. They got to wait a few more years. Okay. Jay said TikTok saved people's mental health during the pandemic. And SL said TikTok is the Trojan horse. All right. All right, this is the part of the show where we go to you, the jury, to answer any questions. Let's see. Attorney Turner, on my question about, Venetia Phillips says, Attorney Turner, on my question about the Canada case, I was asking about you. Were you saying something, but I couldn't hear what you said. Can you please let me know what it was you were saying, please?
That's from the other night, and I didn't remember what question she had. I asked in there, but I don't know if she posed.
We told the listeners to reach out to Brian because he's the one that knows it.
Okay. All right. Danielle Cameron said Trump's voters are special people, so they probably aren't smart enough to know what a felony is. They probably think it's a feline. Venetia Phillips says it's disgusting. He's going back in that White House. I don't understand how it's possible. We feel, yeah. Tanya Crowder says, if it was Obama, okay, we read that. Venetia Phillips said, Obama should be able to run again. He's still my president. Nola F. Ryan said, I've been saying, yeah, we read that. Daphne, his mother taught him everything he knows. Okay, these are comments. These aren't questions.
That's about a Diddy, but I assume.
Yeah, these are all comments, not questions. All right.
Going back to the White House, do you remember this expression back in the day? And maybe I just knew some foul people. If I get a chance to do that again, I'm going to show my whole ass. I think that is what Trump is going
to do. Yeah, clearly. And the best part is he's not going to get in trouble for it.
He's got nothing to lose. The training wheels
He has nothing to lose. He's going to rewrite history. I believe. I'm just convinced that he's going to rewrite history. All right, everybody, let's go back to the top of the show. First up, Donald Trump, what are we going to find? Is he guilty of being a gangster and not giving a, Attorney Carter, what are your thoughts? Guilty or not guilty?
I mean, he's guilty, but like I said, Diddy 2028, call me, brother.
Attorney Turner?
He is guilty of inspiring us all to rethink when we don't want to do something, then we don't got to do it. Thank you.
Pretty much. Attorney Weiss?
He is Trump.
Guilty? Not guilty?
He is Trump.
Okay. I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I'm going to find Trump guilty. Guilty of being a gangster and don't care. I mean, he can do basically whatever he wants. He can fondle women against their will, get away with it. He could falsify documents, get away with it. He can, incite a riot, get away with it. He can now be a felon and still be the president. Guilty of all the charges. All right, next up.
With the comb over too. Don't forget that.
Right. Next up, Diddy's mom. Is she guilty or not guilty of bad upbringing? Like, is she definitely led by example? Maybe. Is she guilty of doing too much of that? Attorney Carter, what say you?
Not guilty. Not guilty. I told you they don't let young people, all right, in the old person party. I tried to show you this before, my AAP card, all right? I had to get this card to be able to go to the old folks party. Until then, they were like, "You too young." All right. So no, they did not have them at the party.
All right, Attorney Turner, is Mama Combs guilty or not guilty?
You know, I have a soft place in my heart for the moms, even those that may have been a host. So I'm gonna say not guilty. Like more evidence.
Attorney Weiss, guilty, not guilty?
I think Diddy's team is guilty of getting this out there so that we can all see what kind of childhood he had, so that we think that, this is what he thought was the norm, and they're using it to take away some of the, culpability for Diddy. So I think guilty of being smart as crap.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. We're gonna find Mama Combs guilty of having too much fun and sharing the love. Woo, too much sharing of the love. All right, next up, we have Alec Baldwin. Is he guilty or not guilty of doing too much? Like, I just feel like he's doing too much. Attorney Weiss, what say you?
Guilty of doing too much. He should just ride off into the sunset with his cowboy hat and his white beard.
Right. Okay, Attorney Carter.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly, Your Honor. Guilty of doing too much. Right.
Attorney Turner.
He was guilty of the shooting. All right. But too much.
Yeah.
All right. Attorney Turner.
Consensus. Guilty.
All right. Guilty. All right. I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. And we're going to find Alec Baldwin guilty of doing too much, bro. You got off in a very big way, not only just with your career, but like financially as well. I was very upset about that. I mean, so you need to take a chill pill, Alec Baldwin, on this. All right. The forest fires, we really don't have a guilty or no guilty. Let's go to the Supreme Court. Signal support for TikTok ban. Is TikTok guilty or not guilty of infringing on our rights? Attorney Carter, what say you?
No. And I'm going to say it just like that little white boy underneath the little blanket. Leave TikTok alone. All right? People, I'm married, been married my whole life. This is all I got going for me on a Friday night. All right? Ain't no fun around here. Let me have my TikTok.
You are crazy. Attorney Weiss, TikTok.
I got two teenagers. You can't take away TikTok. Please don't take away TikTok.
Oh, no. All right, Attorney Turner.
Well, now that he said that, I'll vote for my kids. Yeah, no, not guilty. Yeah, they would be mad if I said get rid of TikTok.
Well, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in the court of Celebrity Court. And you guys know where I'm going to fall on this. Yes, TikTok is guilty for stealing our accounts, stealing our banking information, stealing our personal information. They're spying on us, and it needs to stop. That's what I feel. Unfortunately, my sister would have a heart attack if she heard me say that. Because
we should all just throw in our the $50 that we have between us, and let's just buy TikTok. That's all.
We should buy TikTok. Isn't the guy from Shark Tank? He's trying to buy TikTok. All right, everybody. Tonight's docket reminded us that justice isn't black and white. It's actually messy, controversial, and often driven as much by perception as it is by the law. From Donald Trump's unprecedented felony conviction to Diddy's past casting new shadows on his legacy. And from Alec Baldwin's fight for his reputation to TikTok's battle for survival, every case we've explored tonight raises one burning question. Who's really winning? The justice system or the court of public opinion? In my opinion, it's the court of public opinion. But here's where it gets personal, folks. Are we holding our leaders, our celebrities, and institutions to the right standards? Are we too quick to cancel, convict, and condemn without understanding the full story, maybe, with Diddy? And let's face it, when power, fame, and influence are on trial, is justice even possible? Not with Trump. The truth doesn't end here. It begins with you. Join the debate using Celebrity Court, hashtag Celebrity Court, and tell us, are we getting too lenient? Are we letting our celebrities off? Clearly, we're letting our president off. And what's going wrong and how are we going to correct it? Until next time, stay informed, stay critical, and most importantly, keep demanding the justice we all deserve. Court is now adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.